turn it like the keys to an engine.
Yeah, exactly. Hi. All right, I have to make the posts.
Yep.
Everyone. Internet fix. Copy. Paste. Okay, bam. That's good.
Bless you.
Oh, goodness.
Bless you again.
Oh, goodness, man. That was not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Yep.
Very difficult.
Yep.
So that's I'm just decided I'm gonna have is the stream actually live?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the stream's live.
Okay.
We have one viewer.
I don't know. Awesome.
Awesome.
Welcome aboard.
So far, we have one viewer so far.
Yeah. That's okay. It happens. It happens. Is that Fen? Is Fen in the audience?
I don't know. It could be.
It might be Fen. Hey, Fen. It's Fen.
Hey, Fen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, maybe Fen.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Say hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
51%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got 12 more pages.
Nice.
Hey,
we can
out
do
of
it.
the 40
I believe in
we
us.
initially had, I'd say.
No, I'm saying that's good.
Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. We can do it. Yeah, we can do it.
All right, where are we at on here? Just
it was could you teach me the thing?
Could you teach?
Yeah,
I think
thing you did earlier. You're next. The line is what thing?
I heard.
Yeah.
I've heard of you.
Teach him the water ball.
Laws. I asked. Deferent. There we go. What thing? Okay, so I found where we're at. We're
Yep.
52%, as it were.
Yep.
Yay! Yeah, we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, just to clarify, my internet gave out. It seems to be an issue with my router / modem doing things. Did a factory reset. That seems to have fixed everything. Hopefully, it stays that way.
Generally speaking, when it comes to IT stuff, if like reboots don't work, try a factory reset. If that doesn't work, something's fucked.
Yeah. I mean, so far, had to go through and reset up everything. We are going to continue. We're going to try and get as far into this as we can.
Yeah, it got like to the point where it was almost something was like fucked.
Everybody's going to love this.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to love this when they get here. Like, I am going to end up changing the password for this probably later tonight or whatever. But, like, Moon, when you guys get here, you're going to access one piece of Wi-Fi.
Yep. I'm ready for it. I'm excited.
I have changed it. I have changed it because it was Unit 11, and I'm like, nah, it shouldn't be that.
Can I nerd out for a sec?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so basically, my theory for what happened earlier is that my technology theory is that you might have been connected to Netgear 64, the one without the 5G. And usually every router / cable modem, at least if it's like a dual combo thing, I think yours is just a router, but I could be wrong. But anyway, if it's your router generally sends out like 2.4 or has two different types of Wi-Fi radios. Okay, it has a 2.4 gigahertz and it has a 5 gigahertz. The numbers don't really matter in terms of like what you need to know for specs, but just know the 2.4 is longer distance and the 5 gigahertz is shorter distance. But the 5 gigahertz is better to stay on because when you're using any kind of Wi-Fi device or a wireless device, you're generally going to be using it on 2.4. But there are only a total of 11 Wi-Fi channels that your device can connect to in order to stay connected to whatever like internet or whatever device you're trying to connect to. So there's just 1, 6, and 11. And that's really bad because if you have a lot of 2.4 devices, they start bickering for space and then connection gets funky.
Oh, Jesus.
5 gigahertz, yeah.
Connect all my lights and everything.
Yeah, so it's a little fucky, but that might be the case that you might have had. And interference comes from everywhere. So it's not just your own stuff. It could be from other people from all around you.
It's currently
So
searching
Even if
for
they're on
Wi-Fi.
completely separate networks.
yeah. So yeah, and that's probably what happened, is that it disconnected from it and then said, okay, well, where's the Wi-Fi? So generally speaking, 5 gigahertz is better to stay onto because there's more capacity for devices to get onto good channels with, basically. So there's basically more room for your devices. So anytime you can, try to connect to like a 5G channel. Some devices can't do that
Well,
because they don't have an adapter to do
set
that.
this
But
up later because
in general,
I'm
yeah,
in
well,
pairing mode with my Alexa.
yeah,
This
and that's
is all
fine.
stuff that
You'll
can be
figure it
done
out later.
Guys, thank
Yeah.
you so
Anyway.
much. We wasted time so we could go back to having a couple more viewers come back and everything and be like, oh, hey guys, you're back. Like, yeah, we're back. Now we're going to continue reading. We at least have 4 people here. 5 people. Yay!
Yay.
I'm hoping this isn't just us in the chat.
That's me. I know I'm here.
Yeah.
That's 2.
Welcome back. Even though we were always here.
We were always here, but we
Yeah.
weren't live. All right, I did change the names of them to Chapter 7, Part 1 and Part 2 because I realized, holy crap, Chapter 7 is long.
Yeah, but we'll get through it.
We'll get through it pretty quickly. All right.
Yeah, these are short
let's
things,
pick
so
up where we
go ahead.
left.
Yeah.
All right. So more importantly, Silp said, "Could you teach me that thing earlier? Is that where we're at?"
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Already
Let's
read
do it.
More importantly, Sylph said, could you teach me that thing you did earlier?
What thing?
Sylph's eyes glimmered to life. He postured and waved his hands as he explained. Like when you made warm water go all sploosh from your hands.
Oh.
And when you made that nice warm wind like whoosh.
They're children. Stop.
It's word choice. Someone
Yeah.
knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Yes, that.
The magic I'd used to clear away the mud. Is it difficult?
It's difficult, but with training, anyone can do it. Probably.
Lately, my magical reserves had grown so much, I wasn't even sure how much I was... Wait. I wasn't even sure how much I was expending. To say nothing of what the baseline was for people here. But then, this was just using fire to warm water. People probably couldn't just up and conjure hot water without an incantation. But with combined magic, anyone could reproduce the effects. That's why it was probably fine. Probably.
Oh.
Mostly.
Yep.
One moment, I'm still chewing.
Mm.
Chew.
Yep, you had like so much time, so...
You speak the choo-choo. All right, anyway. Also, I was checking something else.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm also quietly in the background trying to check different things going on my computer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, then.
I announced.
Today we'll begin your training.
And so Sylph and I played until the sun went down.
Oh boy, here we go. Here's the fun part.
When I got home, Paul was furious. He stood imposingly in the entryway, hands set on his hips in an expression of his anger. I immediately tried to think of what I'd done wrong. The first thing that came to mind was that he'd discovered the precious panties that I'd secreted away.
Father, I'm home.
I said.
Do you know why I'm upset?
I don't.
First, I had to play dumb. I didn't want to bring unnecessary trouble upon myself in the event my prized possession hadn't been discovered.
Mr. Ito's wife came by earlier and told me that you punched their son or their boy, Somo.
It's not a question. He's mad and he's demanding. Like he's.
Well, I know, I'm asking
this
about the
thing
name.
happened. Yeah, I don't know how the name is pronounced. Whatever you say.
Small.
Mr. Ito's wife came by earlier and told me you punched their boy, Somo.
Who the heck were Mr. Ito and Samal? The names didn't ring a bell, so I had to think. I hadn't had much interaction with the townsfolk beyond basic introductions. I'd given them my name and gotten theirs in return, but I couldn't recall whether or not there had been a Ito among them. Wait, hold on.
Was this today?
I asked.
Yes.
The only people I'd run into today were Sylph, Laws, and those 3 punks. Was Samal one of those 3 boys then?
I didn't punch him. All I did was throw some mud at him.
You remember what it was I told you earlier?
That men don't get strong just to brag about it?
That's right.
Aha, now I got it. Come to think of it, that kid had said something about how he was gonna let everyone know I was a demon lover. I don't know how that turned into him lying about me punching him, but either way, he was determined to badmouth me.
I'm not sure what you heard, Father, but...
Oh, no, you don't.
Paul snapped.
When you've done something wrong, the first thing you do is apologize. Whatever lie this kid has told...
No.
That's me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. Whatever lie this kid had told, my dad had clearly bought it. Crap. At this point, even if I told the truth about me saving Still from those bullies, it'd just sound like an outright lie. Still, all I could do was explain what happened from the very beginning.
Okay, so I was walking down the road when...
No excuses!
Paul grew even more irate. He had no intentions of hearing me out. I could have just said sorry, but I felt like that wasn't going to be fair to Paul either. I didn't want him to make a habit of behaving like this with any younger brother or sister he might well make for me. This method of punishment wasn't fair. I kept my mouth shut.
Why aren't you saying anything?
Because if I
Paul
do,
demanded.
you're just going... Oh, sorry.
Paul demanded.
Because if I do, you're just going to yell at me not to make excuses.
Paul's eyes narrowed.
What?
Before a kid can even say anything, you yell at them and make them apologize. Everything is so quick and easy with you adults. Must be nice.
Whap! A hot jolt of pain shot through my cheek. He hit me. I mean, I'd expected as much. Talk shit, get hit. I respect him so much for that. That's why I firmly held his ground. I probably hadn't been hit in around 20 years. No, I'd gotten my ass beaten when I was kicked out of my house, so that made 5 years, I supposed.
Father, I have always put in the utmost effort to be a good son. Not once have I ever talked back to you or Mother, and I've always done my very best to do whatever you both tell me.
Has nothing to do with this. It didn't look... Oh.
It's not your week!
It didn't look as though Paul had intended to strike me. There was a distinct look of consternation in his eyes. Whatever. That was good for me.
Yes, it does. I've always done my best to keep your mind at ease and to get you to trust me, Father. You didn't listen to a word I said, and not only did you take the word of someone I don't know and yell at me, you even raised your hand to me.
But this Somo kid got hurt.
Hurt? That was news to me. Had I done that to him? If I had, maybe he was using it to sell his story. Well, too bad. I was justified in what I'd done, assuming this whole thing about his being hurt wasn't just some dumb lie anyway.
Even if it does wind up that it's my fault he got hurt, I'm not going to apologize for it.
I said.
I didn't go against anything you taught me, and I'm proud of what I did.
Wait, hold on. What happened?
Oh, now he was suddenly curious.
Yes, you nailed
Hey.
that line.
Oh, now you want
Yeah.
Oh, now you care!
Yeah.
Hey, it was his own fault for deciding he wouldn't listen to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is me. What happened
Yeah.
about not wanting to hear excuses?
Paul's
another
face
slap.
twisted.
God damn it!
That's for backsassing me.
I'll front sass
Paul's
you
face-
too, old man.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Paul's
let me
face
get the
twisted
sword.
into a.
God damn it!
Dude, his mom is gonna come out and just whap
Beat
both
the
of them.
shit out of him.
Alright, anyway.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna
They're
laugh.
both gonna have the comical bumps on their heads.
Yeah.
They're gonna get the clap.
Yep.
Alright, anyway. It
Paul's
turns out
face
he's
twisted
still...
into a frown.
Shit, sorry. It turns out he's still 5 years old. I just wanted to correct us on that. So he's still 5.
Yeah,
That's it. Please continue. Yeah.
Paul's face twisted into a frown. It seemed I was close now.
Please don't worry, Father. The next time I see 3 people going after someone who won't fight back, I'll ignore it. In fact, I'll jump in so that it's 4-on-1. I'll make sure that everyone around knows that the Grey Rats take pride in bullying and ganging up on the weak. But once I grow up and leave home, I'll never use the Grey Rat name again. I'll be too ashamed to let anyone know I belong to a family so horrid they ignored actual violence and accepted verbal abuse.
Paul fell dead silent. His face turned red, then went pale, and there was conflict in his expression. Was he going to be mad, or had I still not pushed him over the edge? You should quit while you're ahead, Paul. I know I don't look it, but I've spent over 20 years talking my way out of arguments I can't win. If you had even one solid point to make, this might end in a draw, but justice is on my side this time. You don't have any hope of winning this one.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
They're like, sorry, Paul, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
That was just the meme of, oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
the meme of that crowd of kids just
Yeah.
him jumping back.
That's the wrong number. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Do it again, Sonic.
I'm sorry.
Paul said, hanging his head.
I was wrong. Tell me what happened.
You kept interrupting Moon.
Oh.
All right, anyway,
Why did you make your father cry?
No, don't fall for those
see?
crocodile tears. Don't you dare.
Rudy's just like, no, wait. You're not hurt. You're not hurt. You're okay.
Don't you dare baby him. All right. So let's continue. Stop! Stop! We can actually finish this chapter.
Stop.
I'm gonna server mute you if you don't stop, man. We're trying to make it through the chapter.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Oh fuck.
Someone
Yeah,
clip
see?
that, please.
Okay.
See.
Yeah, see? Digging your heels in just makes things worse for the both of us. Remember, when you do something wrong, the first thing you do is apologize.
I fucking love that.
Relieved, I explained the detail of the situation as objectively as I could.
Oh man, I love this because like literally, he comes expecting, like, Rudy comes home and Paul is demanding an apology from me, or from Rudy, and then just a minute or two later, Paul is the one apologizing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
That's
he got
so
chewed
good.
out by the mother and then by his own son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's continue. Sorry, I just thought that was neat.
Yeah, it's... Relieved, I explained the details of the situation as objectively as I could. I was making my way up the hill when I heard voices. There were 3 boys in an empty field, pelting mud at another boy walking along the road. I hit them with mud once or twice until they backed down, and then they left while bad-mouthing me. Then I used magic to clean the mud off the one boy, and we played together.
So yeah,
I said,
if I'm going to apologize, this small kid needs to apologize to Sylph first. When you're hurt physically, you'll heal soon enough, but emotional hurt doesn't go away so quickly.
Paul's shoulders drooped despondently.
You're right. I had this all wrong. I'm sorry.
When I saw that, I recalled what Laws had told me earlier.
talking to youth makes one feel like an underqualified parent.
So
It's
Is
true,
it weird
though.
that I
Paul's
think?
attempt at
Is it weird that I
scolding.
think of Law from One Piece?
no, stop,
No.
stop. He hasn't even gotten there yet. Stop. All right, anyway,
I haven't.
You'll
to
find
be
out.
fair, you're like one arc away.
Had Paul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Had Paul's attempt at scolding me been him trying to show more of his paternal side? Well, if so, he'd lost this round.
You don't need to apologize. In the future, if you think what I've done is wrong, by all means scold me as you like. All I ask is that you hear me out first. There are going to be times when words don't cut it, or where it's just going to sound like I'm making excuses. But if I have something to say, please just try to see my side of things.
I'll keep that in mind. I mean, I don't expect that you'll be in the wrong in the first place, but...
When I am, use that as a learning opportunity for disciplining whatever younger brother or sister you wind up giving me in the future.
Yeah, I'll do that. Wait a minute, hold on.
Paul.
But if the younger brother says, what?
Hmm.
All right.
Say, yeah, you better give me one!
Okay.
No, don't think I don't hear you two at night, old man.
Damn. Paul said deprecatingly.
Self-deprecatingly.
The man was clearly in poor spirits.
Had
Had I gone too far?
Oh, wait, I thought that was my... I'm
No!
sorry.
No,
no!
there's not even a quote.
I had to
Dude,
turn
if
the
it's not a-
page.
I saw this
My
I'm
guy,
I'm ready.
my guy. If it's not in quotations, it's not yours.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Had I gone too far? I mean, losing an argument to your 5-year-old son. That'd take the wind out of my sails for sure. I suppose he was a bit young to be a father. By the way,
Yeah,
Richie, I did the
now,
same thing.
No. See what you've done, Sonic? It's contagious.
What?
It's spreading.
You see, it's not just me. It's not just me doing it who makes the mistake.
By the way, Father, how old are you?
I'm 24.
With a 5-year-old? God damn.
Wait.
I mean, these are different
Oh.
times. Different place. Different rules.
Yeah.
You shut the hell up. I'll judge it by my standards.
Well, your standards are wrong in this instance.
I mean,
No,
at
they're
least
not.
he's over
They're
18.
always
How old
right.
is
You
Zenith?
can't tell me
Not
anything.
really, no.
All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
It's your line.
I see. Sorry.
So he would have been 19 when he got married and had me. I didn't know the average age for marriage in this world. But with things like monsters and war such being an everyday occurrence,
15.
it sounded pretty appropriate. A man more than a decade my junior had gotten married, had a kid, and was now struggling with how to raise him. Given my 34-year history of indolent joblessness, you wouldn't think I'd be able to outdo him at much of anything. Oh well.
Father, can I bring Sylph over to play sometime?
Oh, of course.
Satisfied with that response, I headed into the house with my father. I was glad he didn't hold any prejudice against demons.
Hooray.
Oh.
Is this still me?
I think
Yeah,
it. No.
Yeah. Good news.
Oh.
Good news. There's only 5 pages left, so let's,
Oh, okay.
let's finish through this.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, you're still narrating. Yes.
Yeah.
My son was angry. The boy had never been one to display much overt emotion, but here he was, silently fuming. How did it come to this? It started that afternoon when Miss Ito came by our house, furious. She brought along her son, Samal, considered one of the neighborhood brats. There was a blue bruise around one of his eyes. As a swordsman who'd seen my fair share of battle, I knew right away that he'd taken a punch. His mother's story was long and rambling, but the gist was that my boy had punched hers. When I heard that, I was inwardly relieved. Ordinarily, I might have assumed my son had been playing outside, caught sight of Samal and his buddies playing, and tried to join them. But my boy wasn't like other kids. He was already a water saint magician at his age. He'd probably said something high and mighty. The other kids had fired back, and then they'd all gotten into a fight. My boy was pretty clever and mature for his age, but he was still a kid after all. Miss Ito continued to get red in the face and then went pale as she tried to make this out to be a major bust-up, when it was just a quarrel among children in the end. And just by looking, you could tell that her son's injury wasn't even going to leave a mark. I'd scold my boy, and that would be the end of it. Children were bound to get into scuffles that turned to blows at some point, but Rudius was far more powerful than other children. Not only had he been the disciple of the young water saint, Roxy, I'd been training him since he was 3. Any fight he got into was sure to be one-sided. Things had gone okay this time, but if he ever got too hot-headed, he might wind up overdoing it. A smart kid like Rudius ought to be able to deal with someone like Samal without throwing a punch. I needed to teach him that punching someone was a rash thing to do, and he needed to give it more thought before resorting to it. I needed to give him a bit of harsh scolding. That had been the plan, anyway. How did it go so wrong? My son had no intention of apologizing to me whatsoever. Rather, he looked at me like one might look at an insect. I'm sure that, from my son's perspective, they were having a fight on equal footing, but when someone has powers like his, they need to be aware of just how strong they are. Besides, he'd hurt someone. I needed him to apologize. He was a smart kid. He might not understand now, but I was sure he'd arrive at the right answer in due time. With that in mind, I took a firm tone to ask what had happened, only for him to respond with condescension and sarcasm.
Condescension, not condensation. Nope. He responded with water droplets?
Who knew? A water saint magician.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I did make him cry a lot earlier, so yeah, maybe.
Okay. Condescension and sarcasm. It galled me, and in the heat of the moment, I struck him. And here I was, trying to teach him a lesson about how people with power shouldn't resort to violence against people weaker than them.
You said result.
Shit. Shouldn't resort to violence against people weaker than them. I'd hit him. I knew I was in the wrong, but I couldn't say that while trying to give my boy a lecture. I couldn't tell him not to do what I'd done moments earlier myself. While I struggled with my rattled composure, my son implied he'd done nothing wrong, and even said that if I had a problem with that, he'd leave home. I almost told him right there to go ahead, but I managed to resist the urge. I had to. I was from a strict family myself, with an overbearing father who'd tear into me without giving me a fair shake. My resentment had grown to the point where we had a huge fight that ended with me storming out of the house. My father's blood ran in my veins, the blood of a stubborn, unyielding curmudgeon. And it ran in Rudius's veins as well. Just look at how stubborn he could be. He was definitely my kid. When I was told to get out, I gave my old man some tit for tat and did exactly as he said. I might drive Rudius off as well. He said he'd wait until he grew up before leaving home, but if I told him to get out right now, I bet he would. I was sure it was in his nature. I heard that, not long after I left, my father took ill and died. I heard he regretted our big fight until the very end, and I was glad to hear it. No, if I'm being honest, I regretted it too. If I told Rudius to get out and he really did leave, I'd surely regret that as well. I had to be patient. Hadn't I learned from experience after all? Besides, on the day my child was born, I decided that I would never be a father like mine. You're right.
No,
I had this all wrong.
No. That is not our line.
You're right. I had this all wrong. Sorry.
The apology came out naturally. Rudius's expression softened, and he went to explain what happened. He told me that he came across Law's kid getting bullied and stepped in to help. Rather than punch anyone, he just tossed balls of mud. It could hardly be called a proper fight. If what Rudius said was true, then what he'd done was a laudable thing. Something he should be proud of. But instead of being praised for his actions, all he got was a father who wouldn't listen and struck him instead. When I was young, my father did the same thing to me so many times, never listening to my side of things and always blaming me for not being a perfect son. Each time it happened, I felt so miserable and helpless. Well, whatever lesson I had been trying to teach here, I'd failed. Ugh. But Rudius didn't blame me for it. He even consoled me in the end. He was a good kid. Almost too good. Was I even really his father? No. Zenith wasn't the type to have an affair, and besides, there was no father good enough to produce a child like him. Man, I never expected my seed would bear such strong fruit. More than pride, though, what I felt was an ache in my gut.
Father, could I bring Sylph over to play sometime?
Oh, of course.
For now, I could at least be happy that my son had made his first friend.
Yay! We finished it.
Right before 11 too. We saved the stream.
We saved the stream. Right,
Yeah.
that is chapter 7, everybody. Sorry about the internet hiccups. Hopefully it will not happen again. But
IT guy basically said to turn it off and turn it back on again.
I literally did.
Yeah, no, I mean basically that's what I told you.
Well, no, I had to do factory
doing
reset.
a factory reset. Okay, no, you did. Yeah,
Like I
so
unplugged it and replugged it twice, and then I did a factory reset, and suddenly it's working again. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the factory reset is usually your go-to if the reboots don't work.
Gotcha.
But it's a little annoying because you have to reset up everything again, but it's fine. It seems like it's working, and at least it's not a hardware issue. It seems.
I'm going to have
if it was
to
hardware, you would know right away.
I'm going to have to reconnect all my lights, my Echo Dot, so many fun things. But
it'll be fine. At least it's working again.
In the meantime, stream is up and running. Gaming will be better because I moved from 2.4 or whatever it was to 5G.
Yep, 2.4 gigahertz to 5G. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So, looking forward to all that. Guys, thank you so much. We will see you this Friday for Pow World. So if any of you guys want to play Pow World with us, we're going to be set up and ready to go and have some good times with that.
I haven't touched that game in so long.
Like we talked about a little while ago, there's an update. Oh, you weren't there. There's an update coming from Pow World for Pow World.
Ooh.
Sakurajima is coming. Yeah.
Okay.
We actually made all right, so we actually made like a server for Fat Dog.
Right.
For Pow World stuff. And so we have a server that you guys can jump on. Like, it doesn't have to just be Friday. If any of y'all are like, hey, I want to play Pow World, we'll jump on the server and you guys can play Pow World.
All right.
Yeah, no issues, dude. None. But we will be doing more Mushoku Tensei next week. There will be no interruption in Mushoku Tensei, but there's not going to be a Fan Friday at the end of the month, and there's not going to be an Anime Church at the end of the month because we're going to be doing con stuff. And when we're not doing con stuff, we're going to be hanging out. So, we're going to make the most of everything that is going on and all that jazz. So, thank you all. Oh, goodness. All right. So, thank you all so much. We'll see you next time. This is where the stream ends. Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Later.